What would make a Hollywood star? Someone adored by millions, used to red carpets and champagne parties. Laugh in the face of a woman who has spent decades delivering justice with the sharpest tongue on television. What arrogance could make him smirk as if the courtroom was his stage, the cameras his audience, and Judge Judy just another critic? Friends, picture this. The courtroom lights feel too bright, the air heavy with anticipation. The audience sits shoulder to shoulder, waiting to see this famous actor, the one they've watched charm late-night hosts and movie co-stars, go toe-to-toe with the most feared judge on daytime TV. He leans back in his chair like this is just another talk show appearance, his signature smile flashing every few seconds. The cameras love him, he knows it. But what he doesn't know is that Judge Judy has already read every line of the case file, every complaint, every word his own lawyers begged him to keep quiet about, and she's about to speak. The moment comes when she asks him a simple question, one that should have taken 5 seconds to answer. Instead, he shrugs, grins at the audience as if they're in on some private joke, and laughs. Not a nervous laugh, not the kind that slips out by accident. No, this laugh was pure arrogance. The kind of laugh that makes the hair on your neck stand up. The kind that makes you think, oh no, he doesn't realize what's about to happen. The courtroom falls silent. The smile on his lawyer's face fades. Even the cameraman stops adjusting his lens, because everyone knows Judge Judy doesn't tolerate disrespect. Not from ordinary people, and definitely not from a man who thinks fame will shield him. What happened next? Friends, it wiped the grin off his face so fast the internet would replay it for years. A single moment, a few words from Judge Judy turned the laughter into something no one expected. Tears. And not just his. To understand why this moment shook everyone watching, you have to know a little about Judge Judy herself. Judith Sheindlin, the woman whose name alone can make lawyers sweat. For decades, she's ruled her courtroom with the precision of a surgeon and the bluntness of a hammer. No one talks over her. No one sidesteps her questions. If you try, she cuts through excuses like paper, slices arrogance down to size in seconds flat. She's not rude. She's not cruel. She's honest, painfully honest. And in a world where people spin stories and hide behind lawyers, her courtroom feels like the last place on earth where truth doesn't get filtered. Now imagine the kind of confidence, or maybe recklessness, it takes for someone to walk into that courtroom thinking they can control the narrative. The man sitting across from her that day was one of Hollywood's most familiar faces. A leading man in romantic comedies, a regular guest on late-night shows, someone whose name trended on social media every time he so much as sneezed. He had the charm, the smirk, the wink, the kind of celebrity confidence that made people forgive his mistakes before he even apologized. But courtrooms don't care about charm. And Judge Judy, she's immune to it. The case itself wasn't even complicated. It wasn't about millions of dollars or shocking scandals. It was a simple civil dispute involving unpaid wages, the kind of thing that never would have made headlines if it weren't for who he was. The gallery that day was packed. Some came hoping to see a movie star up close. Others came to watch Judge Judy do what she does best, slice through excuses like lightning through the night sky. As the cameras rolled, the atmosphere felt almost theatrical. On one side, the Hollywood actor, leaning back casually in his chair, dressed in designer clothes that looked almost too perfect for a courtroom. On the other, the plaintiff, a former employee who claimed months of unpaid work, sitting stiffly, holding papers like they were a lifeline. Judge Judy scanned the room, her sharp eyes missing nothing. She said, "Let's begin," voice steady, cutting through the murmurs instantly. For the first few minutes, everything seemed routine. Names read, claims summarized, questions asked. But then came him, the star. Every time she addressed him, he gave short answers, almost lazy in tone, like this was beneath him, like he was humoring the whole process because cameras were here and he thought this would play out in his favor. The audience shifted uncomfortably. Something felt off. Judge Judy leaned forward slightly. "Sir, are you taking this seriously?" That's when it happened. He laughed. A sharp, careless sound that bounced off the walls. Not loud enough to be a shout, but loud enough to be heard by everyone. And he smirked as if this was all a joke, like he was on some late-night talk show telling funny stories instead of sitting in a courtroom where real lives were affected. The plaintiff looked down at her hands, embarrassed. His own lawyer froze, eyes wide. Judge Judy didn't say a word. Not yet, but the air in the room shifted. The audience sensed it. The camera zoomed in, knowing something was about to break. Because if you've watched Judge Judy for even 5 minutes, you know one thing. Laughter like that, in her courtroom, it never ends well. The sound of that laugh lingered in the air longer than it should have. It was the kind of laugh that makes you want to look around and see if anyone else heard it too, just to confirm you're not imagining the disrespect. The gallery did. The plaintiff did. The bailiff standing by the door did. But most importantly, Judge Judy did. She didn't react right away. That was the first sign things were about to get bad. People who knew her style understood when Judy goes quiet after something like that, it's not because she didn't hear it, it's because she did. And she's choosing her moment. The actor leaned back even further in his seat, his arms crossed now like this was all a performance he'd already won. Fame does that to people. It tricks them into thinking the rules bend for them, that a camera and a smile can erase mistakes. But courtrooms aren't movie sets. Judge Judy finally spoke, her voice even, controlled. "Sir, I asked you a question. Perhaps you didn't hear it." "Oh, I heard," he said, that same smirk tugging at the corner of his mouth. "It's just, this whole thing is kind of funny, don't you think?" Funny. That one word changed everything. The plaintiff shifted in her seat, eyes glistening. Months of unpaid work, bills piling up, calls unanswered, and he thought it was funny? Viewers at home watching the live feed began flooding social media with comments. Who laughs in Judge Judy's courtroom? She locked eyes with him. "What exactly do you find funny, sir? The fact that someone claims you owe them money? Or the fact that you think this courtroom is a stage for your amusement?" He didn't answer right away. That was his mistake. Because in the silence, she kept going. She said, "Let me make something clear." Now, leaning forward, her voice dropping into that tone millions had come to know, the tone that meant someone's day was about to go downhill fast. This is not Hollywood. This is not a late-night interview. This is a court of law. And while you may be used to scripts and cameras and people laughing at your jokes, I don't find this entertaining. At all. The room went dead silent. For the first time, his smile faltered. But the real turning point hadn't even come yet. Judge Judy flipped through the paperwork in front of her. She said, "See, sir, I read every piece of evidence before walking in here. Every text message, every email, every note your former employee sent him begging for the money she earned while you were flying to premieres and posting vacation photos online." The audience stirred. No one had seen those yet. She looked at the plaintiff. "Ma'am, you sent him messages asking for the money for how long?" The woman's voice shook. 6 months, Your Honor." After he stopped responding, I even went to his assistant. They said he was too busy. Too busy. Judge Judy turned back to the actor. "Busy. Doing what, sir? Because from where I'm sitting, you had time to fly to Paris for Fashion Week, time to host parties in Malibu, time to buy a brand new sports car in cash." She flipped another page. "But no time to pay someone who worked for you." The actor shifted in his seat. "It's not like that." "Oh, it's exactly like that," she shot back. Every minute, the tension climbed higher. She read out loud one of the messages the plaintiff had sent him. "Please, my rent is overdue. I just need the check you promised. I've worked for you for months. Please." The courtroom was still. The cameras caught the plaintiff wiping her eyes. And then Judge Judy delivered the line that would trend online for weeks. She said, "Do you know what kind of arrogance it takes? To hear someone begging for money they earned, and then walk into court months later and laugh? The actor opened his mouth like he wanted to speak, then closed it again. For the first time since the trial began, he looked small. She wasn't finished. You think because people know your name, because you have fans and followers, because the internet loves your smile, that the law works differently for you? Let me educate you. In this courtroom, you are not a celebrity.
You are a man who might owe someone money. That's it. The audience broke into murmurs. The bailiff had to call for order. The plaintiff's lawyer stepped forward, sensing momentum. Your Honor, may I submit additional records, bank statements, showing multiple large purchases during the exact months my client was unpaid? Submit them, Judge Judy said. The documents hit the bench. She scanned them quickly. Then she looked at him again, eyes like steel. A new boat? A weekend in Cabo? Designer jewelry? Sir, help me understand how you had money for all this, but not to pay someone who worked for you. The actor finally spoke, voice lower now. It slipped through the cracks. I wasn't aware. The plaintiff let out a sharp breath, like she couldn't believe what she was hearing. 6 months of messages, Judge Judy said, and you weren't aware? No answer, because there wasn't one. Every layer of arrogance was peeling back now, minute by minute, replaced by something else, something rawer. Regret? Maybe. But it was too late for that. The courtroom, the audience at home, the world watching on social media, they'd all seen the shift. The man who walked in laughing wasn't laughing anymore. And Judge Judy wasn't done.